radio after all.
All right, so I took a quick break there because I don't know if it was God telling me or I couldn't take it anymore. But I'm coming back to you because I need you to understand just how deep this second verse is and how important it is that we take the time to pass this lesson on to those who will listen. Now, I didn't say to the newer generation. I didn't say to younger people. I said to those who will listen, because I understand and I want you to understand that this is for those who will listen. Some will stand by the wayside. Some will make the decision to move back home. Some will make the decision to check out altogether. But for those who make the decision to move on, I believe you can find value in these words. So where I left off was come to a place for which our Father sighed. Now I'm going to bring it in right to the next one. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. Man, I mean, that's kind of crafty written. That's kind of old school, almost King James written. But it ain't complicated. We've come over this way, which means we've traveled this road. We've traveled this journey. We've endured this shit. And we've done it in tears along the way. Not just our tears, but the tears of our brothers, our sisters, the friends, and those we know. So this road is watered with tears. Deep again is the first word to come to my mind. I'm going to go on to the next line. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughter. Now, if I got to explain this one to you, you and I need to talk offline. We need to have a talk behind the scenes. Because there is no secret by looking at African American past, black man's past, black woman's past, Negro past, that there are a lot of useless slaughter and killing and murdering of us. That's the blood that they're talking about. So we tread this path through the blood of the slaughter, because each way and each point they made it, there were those who was there before them. And oftentimes those who were just a few steps ahead of them were killed and their blood stained the road. But it did not prevent them, turn them back, change their mind. They continued to move forward. Look at your life and tell me what has happened to you in your life where you've seen the blood of someone you knew and you've decided to continue on that path. Now, I'm going to come back to it because I'm going to tell you, the blood is different now, but it's still there. All right, but the next line says, out of our gloomy past. Again, very little needs to be said. When you consider all that has been said, all that we know, and all that history tells us, and they try to hide from us, there's no other word that describes it as well as gloomy, dark, dim, unlit. That's what it's saying. So out of that gloomy past, till now, we stand at last. So that's a testament to the fact that against all I've just told you about and more, stuff that I will never even know and you can never even fathom, throughout that gloomy past, walking in the dark, walking over the bodies of our brothers and sisters in the blood of our fathers and forefathers, we continue to move forward. And in that gloomy past, we stand now at a precipice, at a point of reckoning, at a point that says, I am in a different place. Till now we stand where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Now we got to go a little bit of history for this one. Because when they say a gleaming of our bright star, what star are they talking about? They're talking about the North Star. They're talking about the star that led many of slaves to freedom. We're talking about the star that you looked up in the sky, and no matter where you were, you could tell where you were by that star. Now, see, most of us, we look up outside in the star now. We don't know one star from another. We couldn't pick out the North Star today, most of us, if our lives depended on it. But this is telling us that they're standing in freedom because of the gleam of a bright light, a bright star is cast. Now, I believe this has twofold. I believe they're talking about the North Star, but I also believe they're talking about our bright star. That is the star that shines within each and every one of us to have better, to be better, to do better, to want better. So that's what I believe. Now, you can correct me. Please do. If you feel it, please correct me. But I need us to have some kind of grappling understanding. Because I'm telling you that if you understand these words, relate these words to the little you know about our history, then I am saying you should be moved to a greater appreciation of this song. I'm going to go on. So stay with me. Don't go nowhere. It says next, God of our weary years. All right. So, when you look at our history is bound to our faith in so many instances. We have come this way. We have survived through these things, sometimes seemingly only through the grace of God. So it's only natural that we pay homage in this song to that. And we recognize, this is a way of saying, thank you, our Father. Thank you, our God, for bringing us along this way. So it says, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, though who has brought us thus far on the way. So now I'm thinking here, and I read this and I'm thinking, this is very King James Bible verse written, but it's not very complicated either. Because God, you was there when we had those weary years. God, you was there and you was hearing of our silent tears. And it's through you that you have brought to us. Our faith in you has brought us thus far on the way. One of the things I like about this statement is it doesn't say you brought us all the way. It didn't tell you taking us to you brought us thus far along the way. So many times in our lives today, we fail to take account of where we are now, comparison to where we were then, and where others who have suffered to allow us to be where we are today. And that's what that is talking about. I'm going to go ahead and go on. Though who has by thy might, for those who are biblical scholars and for those who are faithful people, you understand that within it, God has all might. And it's through him that we can accomplish everything. So it has been his might that has carried them along that way. Led us into the light. So in the midst of the darkness of those gloomy paths, in the midst of the dark sky with the North Star of beaming in the sky to lead us, there was one other thing inside us that kept us going. And that was the light of our faith. But now we've said that. Now it's time to ask or to pray for or to get additional strength. Because the next line says, keep us forever in the path we pray. God, you continue to come to us. You continue to deliver us against all odds. So give us the strength to stay on the path. We pray, we ask, we beg, we plead of thee. Let's go to the next line. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Because what they're saying now, at least our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. In the midst of the hell we were going through, they were going through, the people of that time were suffering through and with. They were saying that to give us the strength not to stray away from those places. The places is our God where we met you. We met you in the midst of our chaos. So let's not stray away from. Let's not stray away from that. Not stray away from the chaos, but to not stray away from the place that we met you that's in our despair. That's in our need and desire for your help. Lest our hearts, drunk with wine of the world, forget thee. It's not very complicated here because this is all over. The Bible is all over anywhere you want to read with regards to that. Do not give in to drunkenness. So don't get so drunk in the world. Now that's what we got going on today. We've got Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Coach, and all these bags and all these shoes and all these Nikes and all these things that we get drunk on of the world. And we forget our God. We forget what he's done for us. We forget how he has carried us when we couldn't go any further. So check yourself. See what you're drunk on. Is it that brand new car? Is it the purse, the hair, the nails? The things that you gotta have in your mind that's of the world? I'm gonna go on. Shadow beneath thy hand, the hand of God. May we forever stand. Keep it going. We gotta stand for something. This is another one that we failed on. We stop standing for anything and start falling for everything. We get so consumed in what's going on in our life that it doesn't matter what's happening in all of our lives. It's me. I need a better job. I need another car. I need a bigger house. I need all these things. And in the need of all these things, I forget to want, pray, and help others. So it says, true to our God and true to our native land. And I've thought about this, and I thought about it in a lot of ways, and I'm going to have to do some additional research on this last piece.